Hey folks, welcome back to KSN, episode 97. Wow. And I can't believe it's already been a week since the last episode. Yes, a special Saturday edition of KSN. There is a lot of news to talk about, but I will try not to take too much time on each topic. So, first off, the reason why it's been a week since the last episode is mainly because of my voice. If y'all forgot, a little over a week ago, my throat wasn't feeling right. And a couple of days after that, I started to lose part of my voice. It was really strange, probably because of the nasty weather. But I'm better now. That is the main reason why I haven't been really keeping up with this podcast, so my apologies. However, I should be able to do 2 episodes starting next week, hopefully Tuesday and Friday. Maybe we'll get back to normal now. So, yeah. All right. Because this is a special Saturday edition, I'm going to try and talk about all the things from my mind. Yeah, I know I have a list of the things that I want to talk about, but I didn't even bother to type that in. I didn't even bother to type the things that I want to talk about on that list. I'm going to play this challenge. I'm going to do this challenge of me trying to remember everything that I want to talk about. Because like I said, I don't want to take too much time on each topic, because if I do that, then this episode will be like an all-nighter. Plus, I have other things to do. So, yeah. But hey, better than nothing, right? Okay. So to me, let's see here. All right. So, I did some KSN updates, shorts, of me talking about the college football playoff championship games, the conference championship games. My prediction on the rankings and all that. All right. So, I did watch the playoff selection show. I didn't watch it live because that was on a Sunday. Because the night before was the conference championship games, right? And I recorded the second half of the SEC championship game and the Big Ten championship game because I was out. I wasn't at home at the time. I went out somewhere. So, came back home and I watched those recordings of the games. And luckily I didn't get spoiled, so that's good. Because I wasn't on my phone very much. So therefore, that is the main reason why I couldn't watch the playoff selection show live. But I'm glad I have YouTube TV again, so I'm able to record that. And I pretty much listened to the entire show, and they also have the I watched. They had a rankings countdown, a 2-hour rankings countdown, and I watched that first because it had other people on the desk in the studio, And then, of course, the main show with Reese Davis, Booger McFarland, Joey Galloway, and Greg McElroy. And then after that, they have another show of them breaking down the bowl matchups. All right, so I watched all those, not in one day, but I watched all those in a span of 2 to 3 days. And then I also watched the SEC Now show on SEC Network. I recorded that show as well. Yeah, a lot of college football talk. So, what are my thoughts on the rankings? Well, see, there's always going to be disagreements with the committee. That's the thing. I thought Alabama would be out. I really thought they would be out. And, the craziest part is that they didn't drop. Their ranking didn't drop at all. They lost by 3 touchdowns in the SEC championship game. And I heard that they had negative rushing yards. Oh my gosh, for Alabama football? Oh my goodness. So, why isn't their ranking dropped? So, it's very weird. And I heard that, the committee doesn't want to punish the losing team of the conference championship games. So what's the point of having the conference championship games then? You know what I'm saying? See, they don't really mean as much now like they used to. But the committee, they were probably thinking, Alabama, they beat Georgia in Athens. Yeah, but they lost to the same team in a rematch by 3 touchdowns. Yes, they won in Athens, but that was only, by 3 points? To me, that Bama losing in the SEC championship game by 3 touchdowns is bigger than winning in Athens. Because that was not the same Bama team back then. As Booger McFarland would say from 2 years ago, when Florida State got screwed out of the 4-team playoff format, the final 4-team playoff format, he said, no team's the same from start to finish. And that's true. That's the way it is. Especially in Major League Baseball, because, you play a 162-game regular season. You're not going to be the same from start to finish, So, it's very crazy. I know that. This is insane that Bama did not drop. People forget they lost to Florida State by 2 touchdowns in the first game, and Florida State's not that good of a team. What was it, like 2 years ago? Bama beat Georgia in the SEC championship game by 3 points. Georgia was the number 1 team. Georgia dropped 5 ranking spots. Do y'all remember that? I sure do. Bama losing this year's SEC championship game. First time ever Bama lost to Georgia in the SEC championship game by 3 touchdowns. So I'm like, ooh, this team might be out. They didn't even drop a spot. That's kind of crazy. I guess the committee was like thinking, let's not have Bama. We can't have Bama not in the playoffs back-to-back years, so we got to have them in. Okay, so I guess it really came down to Notre Dame and Alabama. Now, Miami, another issue that I have is why was Miami behind Notre Dame for the past, month? Miami was 1 spot behind Notre Dame, and all of a sudden They jumped Miami over Notre Dame. Is it because of the head-to-head? Yes, head-to-head matters, in my opinion. They played each other in week 1. And, you know, to me, Notre Dame should get in. Yes, I know they started off the season 0-2. Lost to Texas A&M, what was it, by 1 point? And then they won the rest of their games pretty easily. So it's kind of crazy that Notre Dame isn't in. The team that was in the national championship last season. Like, isn't the playoff all about the 12 best teams, not the 12 most deserving teams? So if that's the case, why are Tulane and James Madison in the playoff? I know that sounds kind of mean, no disrespect to them. I think most of us can agree that Notre Dame is better than James Madison. Straight up. If Notre Dame faced James Madison in a bowl game, I guarantee you Notre Dame would win by at least double digits. 2 scores, maybe, at least. But I get it. It's cool that the committee is giving these smaller teams a chance, even though they might get blown out. So Notre Dame's like, you know what? We're not going to play in a bowl game. Screw you. Screw this. We're dropping out of a bowl game. And to be honest, I don't blame them. I really thought Bama would be out and Notre Dame would get in. You know what? This is a sign of the playoff might expand to 16 teams. It might as well be. So if that's the case, that means we're not going to have any buys. No team will get a bye if the playoff is going to expand to 16 teams, right? Do I want it to expand to 16 teams? Sure. Why not? It's like, at this point, no matter what they do, there's going to be people that are going to be unhappy. You know, for years, it was the 4-team playoff format. And I said to myself, can we the playoff should expand to 8 teams. Why did it go from 4 to 12? That I don't understand. You don't even want to try 6 teams first, then 8, then 12. You go from 4 to 12. What the heck? That is really strange to me. See, college football, it's really weird now on what has it become, especially the behind the scenes. Hey, the games are entertaining. The game itself is still entertaining, so that's good. But the behind the scenes is like, what is going on? The behind the scenes is more dramatic than the NFL's behind the scenes, it seems like. I mean, like, think about it. This year, how many coaches get fired? A bunch. Let me see if I can remember all the coaches that I heard that got fired. Oklahoma State, Mike Gundy. Arkansas, Sam Pittman. This is not in any particular order. This is just from the top of my head. Florida, Billy Napier. LSU, Brian Kelly. Penn State, James Franklin. The Virginia Tech coach, I forgot his name. He got fired. Now, Franklin is the new Virginia Tech head coach. I mean, goodness gracious. Lane Kiffin leaving Ole Miss to become the new LSU head coach. And recently, a couple days ago, the Michigan head coach got fired for something crazy he's done. I'll probably talk about that more a little later if I remember, but my goodness, this is a record. This is a record on all these coaches getting fired. Oh, another one, Kentucky. Mark Stoops. He also got fired after all these years. What on earth? Oh, and you guys know I have the ESPN app, and I would get notifications of scores and big news. Well, one of the big news is that the Utah head coach, what's his name? Kyle Whittingham? He's been their coach for like 20 seasons. Whittingham. He's stepping down after the bowl game. After their bowl game, he is stepping down as the Utah Utes head coach. My gosh, what a coaching carousel season it's been. So, you guys know, as also I listen to a bunch of podcasts. The main podcast I've been listening to is the Paul Feinbaum Show. I know a lot of people don't really like Paul Feinbaum. If you're not a SEC fan, I'm an SEC fan. I mainly watch SEC football games because I live in the Southeast. And I've always enjoyed listening to the Paul Feinbaum Show. He takes a lot of calls. Yes, he takes a lot of calls. A lot of his callers are Bama fans and Georgia fans, you know, so I was listening to a lot of his show, as well as a bunch of other shows of their thoughts on the CFP rankings. So, in my opinion, Notre Dame should be in and Alabama should be out. Is Alabama better than James Madison? Yeah, I think they are. See, this is the problem. Is a team like James Madison, they're probably going to get blown out. They're going to face Oregon. They're going to go to Eugene, Oregon, and it's going to be a prime time game. There's no way they're going to win that game. And I get it. It's nice that the committee is giving them a chance to shine, but remember this happened to Cincinnati a couple years ago? It wasn't pretty. So, I don't know. Now I hope Bama doesn't win the national championship. Because to me, they should be out. I don't think they... I noticed like for the past month, they've been kind of falling apart. So, now watch them make a run, you know. I'd rather have Ohio State winning it back-to-back seasons. So, I'll be rooting for... the teams that I'll be rooting for are Indiana. Yes, congratulations to the Hoosiers. Number one team in the country, the only undefeated team in the country. Kurt Cignetti. What a coach he is. Quarterback Mendoza. Most likely he's going to win the Heisman Trophy. And if he does, he deserves it. He's really good. So, this is Indiana's best season ever. Haven't won a Big Ten championship game since, 1967? First time they beat Ohio State since, the late 80s? It's crazy. So I'll be rooting for Indiana and Tulane. Indiana and Tulane. And probably Texas Tech, too. They are a dangerous team. Texas Tech, The way they've been playing, they are a dangerous team. So, Georgia is also a dangerous team. After their performance in the SEC championship game, they are a dangerous team. We'll see how Ole Miss does without Lane Kiffin. What's the new coach name? Pete Golden. Wasn't he the defensive coordinator for Ole Miss? Now he's taken over. So the playoff games, we have a couple of rematches. Alabama against Oklahoma, this time in Norman, and Tulane against Ole Miss in Oxford. All right. The playoff games will begin next weekend, so I will talk more about those when we get closer to those games. But for the rankings, it's a little different than last year. Last year, it was the top 4 conference champions that got a bye. And all those teams that got a bye lost. If y'all remember, they all lost. This year, it's the top 4 seeds get a bye. So even though Ohio State lost the Big Ten championship game, they still get a bye. Would you guys like if the loser of the conference championship games don't get a bye? In this case, Ohio State, yes, they only lost by a field goal, but you didn't win your conference championship, you don't get a bye. So we have to drop you down to number 5. I don't mind that. If that's a possibility change, this is a mess. I mean, I know it's kind of crazy, but oh well, just got to deal with it. So, yeah, Bama's the first team that has 3 losses in the playoff because that SEC championship loss, that counts. Yeah. All right. So, normally the only college football game today would be the Army-Navy game, but instead we have 2 other games as well. We have 2 bowl games today, Saturday, with the starting off with the Cricket Celebration Bowl between South Carolina State and Prairie View on ABC. That's usually in the Atlanta Falcons Stadium. I don't watch that game. The Army-Navy game, I'll probably I might tune into that game. I might not watch it, but I'll probably have it on in the background. Will this on CBS? Does this mean that'll be Gary Danielson's final game? Because every Monday, I would hear him on Mad Dog Unleash with Christopher Russo. So I think this might be his final game. Vern Lundquist, his final college football game was the Army-Navy game back in 2016. So if this really is Gary's final season, then I've always liked him. I know people didn't really like him very much, probably because I don't know, SEC, I guess. Well, he doesn't do SEC games anymore because CBS no longer has the rights to SEC games. They have the rights to Big Ten games. So 2023 was the last season of the SEC on CBS. So after that, I thought, okay, well, maybe Gary Danielson will retire. But no, he decided to stay for 2 more seasons of him calling some Big Ten matchups. But I think this is his final game. Then we have the bucked up LA Bowl between Boise State and Washington on ABC. But isn't the Heisman Trophy presentation tonight as well? So that's kind of weird. A bowl game happening at the exact same time as the Heisman Trophy presentation. See, it used to not be like this. The second Saturday of December, the only game would be Army versus Navy. But now it's not like that anymore. And I think I know why. I think it's because of this new playoff format. Yeah. Anyways, I did made my picks for the bowl matchups. If you want to join my group, I will put the link in the description below. Hopefully I remember that. Yeah. Because the more people that join the group, the more fun it is. All right. Okay. All right. Now let's go to the NFL. The big story in the NFL is Phillip Rivers coming out of retirement. That's crazy. He's what, 44 years old? This is legit. This is legit news. Wow. Coming out of retirement? See, what happened was, I'm sure all of you know what happened. Unfortunately, Daniel Jones is out for the rest of the season with an Achilles injury. And that really sucks. Remember that happened to Aaron Rodgers a couple years ago, but that was in the first game. And he was out for the rest of the season. Daniel Jones is out, so the Colts, they were like, let's contact Phillip Rivers. Whoever thought of that idea is kind of crazy. And Phillips is crazy enough to say, yeah, I'll come out of retirement. See, it's all because of the Daniel Jones injury. Had he not got injured, obviously Phillip Rivers would be, staying at home with his family. Isn't he a grandfather? I heard that he's a grandfather, a young grandfather. Wow. And he's going to come out of retirement. Now, his last season was in 2020. The COVID season, and he only played one season with the Indianapolis Colts. Before that, he was with the San Diego / LA Chargers, mostly San Diego, okay? But I remember Phillip Rivers. So, I wish him well. I hope he doesn't get hurt. We'll see what happens. Is he really going to play tomorrow? I guess the Colts' backup quarterback isn't good enough to be the starting quarterback. I don't really know. But all I know is Phillip Rivers is really coming out of retirement. And before he came out of retirement, I think he was going to be in the Hall of Fame next season. But now that's not going to happen because he came out of retirement. I heard that you have to wait. Now you have to wait again. After he retires for the second time, you have to wait even more to become eligible for the Hall of Fame. That is weird. But hey, I don't know how, I guess Phillip Rivers agreed. I don't know if the Colts offered him a ton of money. But yeah, I bet a lot of people didn't thought the Colts would have a pretty good season this year, but they are going to I'm sure they're going to make the playoffs. Playoffs? Yeah, I know, that's coming up. So, let's go back to Week 14 with a quick recap. The Aints somehow beat the Buccaneers in Tampa. And yeah, the Buccaneers also lost. They played on the previous Thursday night against the Atlanta Falcons in Raymond James Stadium. What the heck happened to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Lost back-to-back home games against your division rivals. Saints and Falcons, they're not good teams. Those are bad losses for the Buccaneers, which means the Carolina Panthers, I think they're caught up with the Buccaneers in the division. That's crazy. The Let's see here. The Jets. Oh my gosh, the New York Jets. Listen, that stupid short I did. Which team will have a 6-7 record? Will it be the Pittsburgh Steelers, Miami Dolphins, Kansas City Chiefs, or the Baltimore Ravens? Well, it turns out my answer was the Pittsburgh Steelers. But instead, we have 3 teams with a 6-7 record: Miami Dolphins, Baltimore Ravens, and Kansas City Chiefs. Not only the Dolphins beat the Jets, they beat them by a lot. 24 points. I mean, that's kind of crazy. In New York. People remember earlier in the season, people said that Mike McDaniel was going to get fired. I guess he isn't. I guess he is safe for the rest of the season. How about the Pittsburgh Steelers going on the road with a win against the Baltimore Ravens, 27-22? The Jacksonville Jaguars beat the Colts by a lot, 36-19. Wow, Tennessee Titans finally got a win. I guess it was their first real win on the road against the Cleveland Browns. I thought the Browns have a good defense. I guess their defense didn't show up because it was the Tennessee Titans. Okay, all right, Titans. I guess they're going to get the first round pick in the next year's draft, right? Wow, what the hell happened to the Washington Commanders getting shut out by the Minnesota Vikings 31-0, and the Vikings are not that great either. All of a sudden, J.J. McCarthy having a terrific game. Seattle Seahawks, they mean business. Denver Broncos with another win. Chicago Bears against the Green Bay Packers, that old rivalry. Packers won 28-21, and I heard that they're back in the lead of that division. LA Rams, they mean business. I think they're the best team in the NFL. And that the Sunday night game, the Kansas City Chiefs lost again at home against the Houston Texans. You know what that means for the Texans? They got revenge. They got revenge against the Chiefs after what happened to them in last year's playoff game. They got revenge. Is this the end for the Chiefs? I think so. They're not, the way things are going. I mean, they're not eliminated yet, but I think they will be. I guess I'm officially counting the Chiefs out. For a while, I said, do not count the Chiefs out, but now I can say I am now counting them out. Wow. If they don't make the playoffs, I guess that is a big surprise, because remember, this team was in what? 3 straight Super Bowl appearances. They won 3 Super Bowls in 5 seasons. Guess the dynasty is over now. But I know a lot of people are happy about that, because those people are chiefed out. To be honest, I was never really chiefed out. When they were in that Super Bowl, I did not mind if they were to win it 3 in a row, because the team has never won the Super Bowl 3 in a row. But I get why most people are unhappy I get why most people are unhappy with the Chiefs on what they've become. I get it. Hey, I was like that with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots. Now look, the Pats are back. They are a great team, even though they have a pretty easy schedule. Speaking of the Pats, yeah, they had a bye. Why? There are some teams that had a bye in December. That's stupid. Like, I thought all the teams would have a bye before Thanksgiving. It's after Thanksgiving and we still have teams that haven't had a bye yet. That's stupid. The best game to me was that Monday Night Football game because I watched it. But guess what? I didn't watch the main broadcast. Nah, I watched the ESPN2 broadcast. No, I'm not talking about with Peyton and Eli. It was the Monsters Inc. broadcast. Yeah, I decided to tune into that. And I gotta be honest, I was entertained. I enjoyed that broadcast. I did. I really enjoyed it. You know, they did something like this last season with The Simpsons on Monday Night Football. This year, it's Monsters Inc. Monsters Inc., that movie came out the same year I was born. I grew up watching that movie. So that probably is the main reason why I enjoyed that broadcast, because it's silly. You know, it's funny. I really like that. I hope they do more of those. Maybe they'll have something like that when ABC hosts the Super Bowl. Although they kind of did something like that when CBS hosted it. What was it like the Nickelodeon characters with SpongeBob? I remember I was watching some of that. Yeah. But that Monday Night Football game was a great matchup. It's funny because it was solely James P. Sullivan with the LA Chargers against Mike Wazowski, the Philadelphia Eagles. I wanted the Chargers to win. Yeah. Great game. So yeah, I enjoyed that. All right, week 15. Can't believe the Falcons beat the Buccaneers. And Michael Penix Jr., he's out for the rest of the season too. So that just makes it a terrible, terrible loss for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. All right, we got a rematch. Bills Patriots, this time in Foxborough, CBS. Who are the announcers? What are the 325 games? Oh, they're on Fox. Okay, so that means Jim Nantz and Tony Romo. Are they gonna call it the Bills Patriots game? That's a big matchup in the AFC. Must win for the Bills, but I don't know. We'll see if the Pats can beat the Buffalo Bills again. Okay. I'm just going to go through the big matchups here. Okay, we got LA Chargers against the Kansas City Chiefs. If the Chiefs lose again, they're done. They're done. They have to win out. Not only I think they have to win out, but they also they need help. Yeah. They got to win this game, though. If they don't win this game, they're done. Do I think they'll win? Yeah, they can. They can win. I guess I'll pick them to win. Oh, man. Two really crappy teams. Washington Commanders against the New York Giants in Giants Stadium or MetLife Stadium. I'll tell you what, if the Giants don't win, that's a really embarrassing loss. Oh, yeah. Okay, so Philadelphia Eagles are hosting against a crappy Vegas Raiders team. Jalen Hurts, I forgot. How many interceptions did he throw in that Monday night game? A lot of turnovers. If that happens again, oh my goodness, the Raiders might win. But no, I can't. Can't pick the Raiders. Eagles, they can bounce back. They're going to make the playoffs. But they're not going to be the number 1 seed. Okay, the Indianapolis Colts against the Seattle Seahawks. Oh, wait. Wait a second. Both Fox and CBS have 325 games? Why is that? That's weird. To be honest, I kind of wish it's like that every week, though. Is this the game? Okay, so we got the Indianapolis Colts going all the way to the Seattle Seahawks stadium. Is this the game where Phillip Rivers is playing? If so, oh my gosh. Your first game back is in a tough environment. I got the Seahawks winning this. I do. I got them winning this. Green Bay Packers at the Denver Broncos. Maybe this is the game that Jim Nantz and Tony Romo will call. Because it's a 325 game. Huh. This is weird. But interesting at the same time. I gotta go with Denver. Home game. But it might be close. Huh. 5Taylor, your favorite team, the 49ers, are hosting the Titans 325 game. It's because the game's in San Francisco. Don't tell me that's the game where... It's not the game where Kevin Burkhardt and Tom Brady will call. Oh no, they're going to call this other game. Detroit Lions at the LA Rams. Okay, that's a big one. I'm going to pick the Rams. Home game. I think they're the best team. The second best team might be the Seattle Seahawks. Oh my god. Okay, we have Cowboys in another primetime game. I'm not watching that game. I'll tell you straight up. Yay, a mediocre Cowboys team taking on a 5-8 Vikings team on Sunday Night Football. Really? Really? They can't flex that game out? The Vikings, they're not going to make the playoffs. The Cowboys, I don't think they're going to make the playoffs either. Why isn't that game flexed out? Is it because it's too late? They didn't thought of it sooner? You let me know, 5Taylor. Because usually you have the answers. I don't. Sunday night game could be Lions, Rams, Packers, Broncos. Yeah. Should be one of those two games. I'm not going to say Bills, Patriots because the last time they played, that was a Sunday night game. What's the Monday night game? It is 6-7 Dolphins against the 7-6 Steelers. Yeah. I'm probably not going to watch that one either. See, now we're getting closer to the playoffs. It's all about watching the intriguing matchups. The playoff teams. You know, Lions, Rams, those are playoff teams. Packers, Broncos, those are playoff teams. Bills, Patriots, those are playoff teams. That's why those games are intriguing, you know. Vikings, Cowboys, no. That's not exciting. That is not an exciting matchup for me. Anyways, well, this might be a pretty good Sunday for NFL Red Zone because we have games at 3:25 on both CBS and Fox. Oh, here's another question. Why on earth is the Panthers Aints game 3:25? That makes no sense. Whatever. Okay. I wonder if the Aints can win 2 in a row. That would be something. So let's see here. Quick look at the standings here. So the AFC, the number one seed is the Denver Broncos. NFC, it's the LA Rams. So let's see. Jaguars are 9-4. Texans and Colts, they're tied at 8-5. All right. Packers and Bears, they're neck and neck, and the Lions are right behind them. Panthers are winning their division seven. They're 7-6. That's a crappy division. And how about that NFC West? Rams and Seahawks 10-3. 49ers are right behind them. Those are all playoff teams. That's crazy. We're going to have 3 teams in the playoffs from the same division. Think about that. Super Bowl's going to be in San Francisco. Oh, 5K, you're not going to like what I'm about to say. What if the Rams win the Super Bowl in San Francisco? Or what if the Seahawks win the Super Bowl in San Francisco? You're not going to like that. I know. But you know what? Like I said, I think the Rams and the Seahawks are the 2 best teams. Ugh. Hey, got a lot of football left to be played, so we'll see what happens here. In the MLB, I heard that Pete Alonso is no longer with the New York Mets. He signed a big contract with the Baltimore Orioles. Wow. I've always liked Pete. I remember he was in the home run derby a couple of times, and he's won it, twice? Great hitter. New York Mets. Oh, and what's that pitcher's name? Diaz. He's now with the LA Dodgers. Wow. Wow. Seems like the LA Dodgers, seems like they can get almost whoever they want. They're going to be the favorite. They're going to be the favorite to win 3 in a row, and oh boy, if that's the case, if they win 3 in a row, does that mean a lockout 2027? Lockout? Uh-oh. Yeah. So yeah, this is the winter what do you call it? The winter off season for Major League Baseball. I'll keep up with that. I listen to Baseball Tonight with Buster Olney. He usually talks about those big news. Finally, in the WWE, Saturday night's main event is tonight. Will I watch it? I will, but I don't think I'll watch it live because I have Peacock. I don't have to watch it live because I'm actually going to go somewhere in the evening, but it's early evening. So I was thinking about doing a live stream of me watching it, but I don't think I'll do that. However, there is a YouTuber that I follow. His name is Tyrone Magnus, and he would usually do live streams of him watching. Alright, sorry about that. Yeah, Tyrone, he's like a Cena hater, so I will watch that. He's going to be taking on his last opponent, Gunther from Austria. He's a great wrestler. I hope he wins. I hope Gunther taps out John Cena. Or I should say, I hope John Cena taps out to Gunther. If that really happens, that would be kind of crazy. I heard that the last time Cena tapped out in a match was 20 years ago. Yeah. But yeah, I never really liked Cena in the WWE. It's just gotten stale. So now that he's leaving, I'm not gonna miss him. Yeah. But I mean, hey, what he does behind the scenes is amazing. Make-A-Wish, all that good stuff. He's a great guy. But, you know, he uses that as his wrestling character, and I don't really like that about him. But and yeah. He not too long ago, he won the Intercontinental Championship from Dominic Mysterio because it was in Boston, Massachusetts, his hometown, his home state. And then he loses it at Survivor Series to Dominic Mysterio. It's like, wow, it's like most of the fans saw that coming. It was kind of predictable. So that way John Cena completed his Grand Slam champion. It's like, what the heck? But no, I don't really keep up with today's WWE. Although I've kind of came back to listening to wrestling podcasts because of what's going on tonight. But yeah, Gunther, he's the one who faced Bill Goldberg in his final match earlier this year, and now he's gonna face John Cena. If Gunther wins, he will go down as one of the biggest heels ever. And he's a great wrestler. Sometimes I root for the bad guys because they're just cool, you know? Another great wrestler is Braun Breaker. He might be my pick to win the Royal Rumble. So, because that dude, he is kind of scary. So, yeah, I'll watch the match, even if I get spoiled. I guess I'll still watch it with Tyrone Magnus's reaction. He was so happy when Cena lost to Brock Lesnar in a squash match. So, yeah. Will this really be John Cena's final match? What if he fakes his retirement? What if he fakes his retirement and he turns heel? Like a legit heel turn. I don't know. Is there going to be a celebration ceremony on Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown next week? I don't know. But yeah, 23 years in the WWE is really amazing for someone like him. So yeah, folks, as far as what I'm watching, I'm probably not going to watch much. But I will try to keep up with it. All right. Yeah, now you can tell my voice. I'm getting kind of tired, so it's time for me to wrap this up. All right. All right. We all know this music. Danger. Enjoy your sports weekend, and hopefully to be back on Tuesday. See you soon.